Welcome back to the Dive Plan. I'm your guide, Jim. Today we're at beautiful Redondo Beach Pier in Des Moines, Washington. This pier that you're looking at right now is actually closed because it's in a bad state of disrepair. And then this pier over here is actually home to the mast. The Marine Science and Technology Center, or MAST, is run by Highline College. It has an aquarium right there at the end of the pier that has numerous tanks that can hold up to 3,000 gallons of seawater. It also has classrooms, information on all the critters that we see underwater, and a huge whale skeleton. What we're interested in today, though, is past the MAST aquarium. There's been a couple of six-gill shark sightings in the area, so we're hoping to see one, maybe two of them. So yeah, we're going to do 4 dives. That's the plan for the day. Start in about 10 minutes here. Go down the deep line. Maybe we'll find that 6-gill I was talking about. So we'll see. That's the plan. We're going to make that happen. This is a red rock crab dragging what's left of an ugly-ass helmet crab home to eat it. We found this Eastern Pacific red octopus out in the open, and he was nice enough to hang out and pose for us. This is a leopard nudibranch. And this is Trigger, the horse at the head of the carousel boat. Say hi, Trigger. This is the Fairy. There's a relatively new statue down here by the carousel boat. That's a buffalo sculpin, a plumose anemone, and an ochre sea star. This is a huge swimming anemone. Say swimming anemone 5 times fast. And this is a rather large sturgeon poacher. This rough-looking guy is just that, a rough-back sculpin. Here at the Black Pearl, we find Captain Jack holding on to his beloved Jolly Roger. He's also got his trusty bird Alabaster by his side, and his bottle of, well, it's not rum, it's actually whiskey. We salute you, Captain Jack. And in the back of the White Pearl, a little further up, we find a tiny little octo hanging out and saying hi. And finally, we have a northern sunstar. This particular one has 9 arms. Well, that's one dive down. Saw 3 octos that time. You only saw 2 of them. The 2 that are on the film there are both Eastern Pacific red octopuses. We saw one GPO, very small GPO, underneath the White Pearl, where the Eastern Pacific octopus is in that tube in the back that you saw. There's a small GPO that just took up residence underneath the White Pearl. She's still getting her legs underneath her, so to speak, pun intended. So she's very shy, hard to see her. But how about that, what do you call that thing? That sturgeon poacher? Beautiful. No nudies on this dive, though. It was very weird. But at least that one octo came out and posed for us. That was pretty fantastic. And I got to put marbles in the carousel boat, say hi to Trigger and everything. All right, so next dive, after we write in our dive logs, switch out tanks and take our good safety, our surface interval, Next dive's going to be down the shallow line. And no shark on the first dive. Maybe we'll see one on this one. We'll see. Anyway, that's the plan. We're going to go make that happen. There's a quick shot of a sea pen. And then it's sea cucumbers everywhere. That's a red rock crab. And here we have a painted greenling. And here's a coon-striped shrimp popping onto and then off of this striped sunstar. This is the rock pile at the end of the shallow line. There are tons of plumose anemones, crabs, fish, and tons of other critters all over and under this rock pile. I think this is a graceful crab. I know it only has one claw. Poor guy lost a fight. This is a sunken buoy ball that a juvenile wolfeel lives in. Alas, she wasn't home today. These are a couple of brown rockfish, a bunch of sea stars, and some plumose anemones. And there's Logan, one of my dive buddies, saying hi. And my other dive buddy telling me everything's cool. This is the eagle. It's a statue that's been down here for years. And finally, one of my favorite fish, a little CO sole. And that's two. Shallow line netted a whole lot of stars, as you saw. And a bunch of crabs, which was cool. And a couple other critters here and there. Not a single nudibranch on the first two dives yet. It's really weird. No shark either, but, what are you going to do? But yeah, so my dive buddy had some ear clearing problems, so we had a heck of a time getting down at the beginning. But we finally got down, went along that shallow line. Unfortunately, also on the way back, we stopped at that little cute wolfeel's domed house, and she wasn't home. Darn it. But who knows? In about 45 minutes, we're going to hit the deep line one more time and see if we can't find a wolfeel down there somewhere. And hopefully another couple of divers said that they saw some lumpies down the deep line. So hopefully we'll be able to find some lumpies down there on this next dive. Hear the airplane? Yay. Anyway, so that's the plan. We're going to switch out our tanks, write in our dive logs, take a surface interval, and then go make that happen. I left the audio of this particular clip on purpose so you could hear my random singing as we go down the deep line. And we found another Eastern Pacific red octopus as we went down the line this time. And this one also stopped and posed for us. These are brittle sea stars. They're tiny, but they're one of the fastest moving sea stars in the ocean. My dive buddy Logan absolutely hates them because he thinks they're creepy. And here we've got a couple of brown rockfish. You can tell they're browns because they have a little black dot right behind their eye. And there's Trigger. This right here is a pretty little ratfish that Logan found for us. Here's another good-sized sturgeon poacher. Terrible clip, I know, but that's actually a long-nosed aolid, a kind of nudibranch. And finally, we've got another leopard dorid, another type of nudibranch. And dive number 3. So down to the deep line we went, found that sturgeon poacher, was gorgeous, and lots more crabs, lots of worms, those red-banded sea worms or whatever they're called. And Logan found a ratfish, which is cool. Neil and I found that beautiful little octo on the deep line itself, who came out and was wandering around. Saw him, he was very pretty. And then when we came back up, we found that octo, the red Pacific octo, in the back of the white pearl again. But yeah, it was a nice, comfy dive, not too long, it was only 32 minutes. And got to see lots of cool stuff again. Now we're going to do what we normally do. We're going to change our tanks, write our dive logs, and do a surface interval. Then we're going to go lumpy hunting over on the south end, over that way. Going to do a shallow dive, just hopefully find some Pacific spiny lumpsuckers, and that'll be awesome. If we do, of course, you'll see it. Anyway, that's the plan. Hopefully, we're going to make that happen. That's a red rock crab dug into the bottom. And in another terrible clip, that is a tiny little opalescent nudibranch. And right here, we have a moon snail. This is a tiny little northern kelp crab holding on to as much eelgrass as it can. And this is a full-grown kelp crab hanging out on some red kelp. And this is the former shell of a moon snail who was probably eaten by some predator. There you have it, 4 dives. And as you saw, dive number 4 over in Lumpy Land was not pretty. Didn't see a single lumpy. Saw a few moon snails though, that was pretty cool. A bunch of gunnels, didn't get any pictures of those because they didn't want to stand still for pictures. And those kelp crabs were pretty awesome too. So now I get to relax for a few hours and going to do a couple night dives later tonight. So I have about a 3-hour surface interval before that happens. So I'm going to go read a book about scuba diving. Go figure. And eat some food, hang out with Penny, and we'll come back and do some night dives. That's the plan. We're going to make it happen. As As soon as we got to about 20 feet underwater, my camera stopped working. So I didn't get any pictures of the night dive. Fortunately, I have friends who also have cameras. All of these pictures were taken by my awesome dive buddy, Don Naviello, whose name appears on the bottom left corner of each picture. Thanks, Don. And this, of course, is another ratfish like the one we saw in the daytime. Look at those beautiful emerald eyes. This is a giant fleshy scale worm. And this beauty is one of the 2 dogfish sharks we saw this evening. This one was almost 4 feet long. The other one was about 2 feet long. So there you have it. 5 total dives, 4 day dives and 1 night dive. We didn't see any 6 gills, but we did get to see those 2 beautiful dogfish sharks, a few octos, and tons of other critters. And I'll take that any day. Thanks for watching, and until next time, fins up, dive safe.